Hey everybody, we're back and we're continuing with the pyramids of Giza, and we are unwrapping the Pharaoh's lesson number 6. Remember, last we talked about the Great Pyramid, and it was with Khufu, and he was succeeded by his son Jedefre. Okay, and we don't know a lot about him. We do know that he decided not to built his pyramid in the Giza Plateau. He abandoned the area and moved 10 kilometers north to a place called Abu Raush. Okay? But he never finished building his pyramid. He only ruled for 8 years, and only a few layers of his pyramid remain today. There's a lot of interest in the lower half of the tomb chamber, though, because it was exposed. And there was a pit for the funeral boat that they found. The biggest thing that they found in this area in reference to this pharaoh was a quartzite head of this king. It was found in 1907 by a French archaeologist. It was eventually moved to the Louvre in Paris and possibly was part of a sphinx. But again, we don't know a lot about this. So for whatever reason, he ruled, like I said, just 8 short years. And then the other son of Khufu was Khafre, and was the brother of Jedefre, and he rules after him. So in 2002, May of 2002, there's some Swiss people over there, and they're cleaning up the area, and they found the pyramid for Jedefre's queen. They also found a mortuary temple, okay? So that was going on. So then we go back to the Giza Plateau, and we have Khafre's pyramid, okay? Khafre is the pharaoh now, and he's building, he decided, again, for whatever reason, to come back to the Giza Plateau and to build his pyramid near his father's. It's just slightly smaller than his Khufu's, but it sits higher on a little bit of a hill, and so it appears bigger. But technically it's not. The dimensions are 704 feet square at its base, 446 feet tall, and is an angle of 53 degrees. When they found the tomb chamber, it was completely different from his father's and had 2 floor levels. And it also had 5 pits for the funeral boats. And like I said, as they explore all these things, they also have to explore the grounds that the pyramids sit on. And on these grounds, they found a funerary temple on the east side. Inside this funerary temple, they found a life-size statue of Khafre. He was seated and just inside the entrance, but the kind of strange fact about it, it was found upside down. And we're not really sure, how that happens. They also had a canal that came into the area from the Nile, and we think that's what was used to help build the pyramid and to move the stones and things. The most famous feature of Khafre's pyramid, though, is the Great Sphinx that's located there. It's 240 feet long and 66 feet high. It's just on the east side next to the Valley Temple, and it faces east. However, it's deteriorating greatly, and there's a lot of work to save it. However, there was a man who was not trying to save it, and he was an early, I would say excavator, but we'll see. He was born in Italy, in Padua, Italy, in 1780. He was 6.5 feet tall and was apparently just a monstrously huge, strong man. He traveled to Europe extensively. He also traveled some other areas, and he was kind of an inventor, a tinker, and he would do different things. And eventually he came up with an irrigation invention. And through his travels and things, somebody said, you should take that to Egypt. They would be able to use it there. So he traveled to Egypt in attempts to try to sell his invention. Somehow through his sales and attempted sales, he comes across a man named Muhammad Ali. He was the Pasha of Egypt at the time, and they became friends. He was favorably received by Muhammad and became friends. And so they start talking and start doing different things. And through him, he also meets the British consul. And As he's meeting more and more people in the British consul, and based on his strength and his desire to just explore and do different things, the British consul eventually suggests that he gathers antiquities that the British consul would help him sell when he's in Cairo. Ultimately, the British consul is looking for a little payout, and since this man Giovanni Belzoni, is going to be traveling anyway, he thinks, hey, if you pick some things up on your travel, bring them back here. I know people, I know connections, will help you sell them. So Mr. Belzoni eventually starts looking into it and starts becoming involved in excavating different areas. Unfortunately, he this was before true, excavation and taking care of the property and things was there. And so he eventually winds up in the Valley of the Kings. And he found the tomb and sarcophagus of Seth I, who was the father of Ramses the Great. And inside he finds his head of Ramses, and he transports it to Cairo and later to the British Museum in London. He took many things, artifacts and statues and pieces of statues, all before the antiquities were regulated. And he took a lot of things out of the country. He took statues and papyruses, and pretty much if he found anything of value that he thought he could make money with, he took it. Unfortunately, his methods were horrible as well. He didn't care what he destroyed. He didn't care how he got the things. If he saw it and he wanted it, he would just smash it out. His methods were described as ruthless. He used battering rams and gunpowder and literally destroyed quite a few things. And he left his graffiti everywhere. It's believed that the Sphinx, there's some damage to it that was caused by him. And we know for a fact he was there because he chiseled his name on the top stones of Khufu's pyramid, and he left graffiti on the wall of Khafre's tomb chamber. So even though he was helpful in finding a lot of things and discovering a lot of things, his techniques and methods were horrible. But fortunately, we were able to keep some of the things and learn from his mistakes.